All right, here we are on April 29th on a Sunday afternoon. Just getting started here. We're going to talk about Cueanon, April 29th, but is Trump mad at Corsi? Dr. Jerome Corsi went on a tweet storm this weekend, and he was very angry at Cueanon, and he was very angry at Trump, and I think Cueanon has fired back. And I think President Trump may be even giving direct messages through Cueanon to let Corsi know that he needs to mellow out. But I'm still a huge Dr. Corsi fan, so I may be bumping up against some anons on that one. But Trump mad at Corsi? That's the big question mark here. I see Adeline, Mike, Marcy, Jesse, Shortly Fetchers. Good to see you guys coming here live on Sunday afternoon here. I have only got about a little less than an hour because I need to take off to the airport in my traveling job. Sometimes I have to travel Sunday afternoon and Sunday nights. So we're going to get into, is Trump mad at Corsi? Welcome to see Stephanie and Adelaide and Lisa Love. Good to see you guys all. SS as well. Mike H is on as well. Hey, what we're going to be looking at here is a lot of posts because I think there's 12 of them since I ended on Friday night, and that video kind of went viral. Obviously very controversial, talking about the biggest sting in history. Embarrassingly enough, I misspelled the word history, so we'll be more careful. I think Trump mad at Corsi. Hopefully that's how Corsi spells his name. But anyway, let's get into this. We are talking about some big drops, I think. It's kind of exciting. I think it clarifies some things here about what the whole plan is and what setting the stage really is and how important that is. So let's dig in right now and get into some of these Q posts. This is the first one's an incredibly long one from April 27th. That was Friday night after I came off the air. He started putting some more stuff out. So this is very late at night, I believe, or at least after I posted. And he's talking about, post a lot of articles here as well. So he goes, reconcile reporting incorrect per White House the day before. Enemy, slave, Mueller, and Uranium One. Mueller and this political article actually goes into Mueller claims Trump is not criminal target in his investigation report says. Right, so I think that might have been. Then Rosenstein says the same thing about he's not under a criminal investigation, and then here's another one that says special counsel Mueller's. Okay, this is the first one. This is the one the first link. Just want to make sure I get these in the right order. So basically, this link right here is Robert Mueller counsel financial records, and that's right here. So that's the one I want to go over right now. And basically, this just talks about Robert Mueller probably being worth around $18 million, right? And the fact that he gave up like $3.5 million, I mean, in here just to basically be the special counsel. So some big, big money here, and a lot of information that you can. I'll put the link in there that you can go dig in there. In fact, you can get the link right here. You just go to Cueanon.pub. Remember, Cueanon.pub. QANON is the key here. Some other people have joined. Mike Church, Julie Selden, Valiant, good to see you. Madeline, Godfather of Whole. We've got people from Boston and all over the place. Thank you guys for spending the time with me live. Here we go. We got a lot to go over. Comey to POTUS not being investigated. RR to POTUS not being investigated. Mueller to POTUS not criminal target. And those are those other three articles I just showed you, which is Mueller says he's not a criminal target. Rosenstein says he's not a criminal target. And then I think there was one more, but we'll get into that later. But those are the three articles, basically just confirming these three things, right? This one talking about Mueller and how much money did he make potentially from Uranium One. Plus, he and Comey were trading positions on boards, right? So we're making a ton of money being on the boards of like HSBC, which they let completely off the hook when they were basically being the deep state banker, I believe, for drug running, gun running, all kinds of nefarious activities. So there's that $18 million. I think Comey's worth like $12 million is based upon being dirty cops, I think, right? So that's what these articles are talking about. Now, it's saying, are they baiting POTUS? They baiting him to try to get him to go talk or whatever and get him caught in perjury somehow. Why no contact with WikiLeaks and Julian Assange? So I think most people think that's going to be coming here when everything really drops. What is being investigated? So this is where Corsi and I are way off of each other, right? And I think it's why both President Trump and I think Cueanon is irritated with Corsi. Now, again, I want to preface this. I'm a big fan of Dr. Jerome Corsi. I think he's one of the most brilliant historians, especially when it comes to the deep state, that we have alive, and we should cherish that. But he sees things differently than I do, and especially when it comes to Mueller. And so I think Mueller is investigating. Basically his team is investigating and trying to find something wrong on Trump. At the same time, he's working, I believe, with the IG, working with really taking down as the biggest sting, as you heard from my last video. But that's why he's asking this. What is being investigated? There's nothing to investigate on Trump. Why is Mueller's team stacked with Clinton D or senior level authorities? And the reason is because that's the distraction. It wants to get the deep state comfortable. And now that I'm saying this and everybody else is coming to this conclusion, you'll see a later post drop by Q basically saying, your move, can you trust Mueller? So now he created this consternation that he wants to create. Why are POTUS supporters screaming for an end? Because the distraction's really well done. Michael Cohen is basically, the three places they went and raided early in the morning. And, I know even a friend of Corsi's was raided and all these other things. But I think that's all the show, but it's also for a very specific purpose, I believe, completely different than Corsi. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see. POTUS witch hunt and add Rudy. And so I think they're finally going to come. I think they knew there was no evidence for Russian collusion. And so he sent his democratic, vicious people out trying to find something. They couldn't find anything. They knew they weren't going to find anything anyway. And that created a huge distraction so that he could be working with the IG Horowitz and making all these sealed indictments and Sessions to make all these sealed indictments real. And add Rudy quiet. Obviously, you know that he had an interview with Mueller. And not an interview, but they went and they had a big discussion and a meeting. And obviously, Rudy's tweeted out that he thinks he can take care of this in a week or two. And so I think it's just going to come public that he's going to continue. And I think he's going to continue looking, but it's going to be in the right places now and in a more blatant way here soon. That's what I believe. Can the investigation officially, publicly drop POTUS from review and continue? That's a big question. I think so, because it was about Russian collusion. Okay, it didn't say specifically Donald Trump's collusion. It was a Russian collusion in the 2016 election. So I think they can drop POTUS out of it, and I think that's what's going to happen. And he's going to continue looking at the Podesta group and all their illegal dealings with Russia, including Clinton Foundation, etc. Why did Podesta group close shop? Because they only could make money if they had the bribery of the Clinton Foundation. Right, and he links to this pacer.gov. You guys might be able to tell me why, because I have not dug into this in detail, but there wasn't anything about Podesta on the front page. It's a way to access court electronic records, so you can probably go find the Podesta, but he didn't give us the actual link. So I'm sure some of the Anons have. I went and looked, couldn't find it on Reddit or Vote, so you guys might know a little bit more detail about this. I would imagine it has something to do with the Podesta group, which Tony Podesta and John Podesta ran, and they closed shop because they didn't have the Clinton Foundation money laundering anymore to work with. Why are known bad actors in full support of Mueller? They're praying that they get rid of Trump. Trump's taking them down. They're praying. Oh my goodness, my gig is up. My criminal gig is up if I can't get POTUS out of the presidential seat. Why did POTUS interview FBI Director Mueller a day prior to the special counsel appointment, if impossible to assign position? Because they set up, it was a 6-hour meeting. I think Mueller was already meeting with Admiral Rogers about this plan, and then when they decided to execute it, they knew that either Rosenstein was part of it, or they knew Rosenstein would select Mueller, and they set up this whole sting operation during that 6-hour meeting. That's what I believe. Why did Sessions recuse? Because they want to appear that they're not being investigated for all their Russian crimes. The projection that he talked about in an earlier post, right? That's talking about you project your crimes onto somebody else so big that they never see your crimes. That's what they're hoping to do. They tried to project on Trump all the Clinton Foundation crimes, all the Podesta group crimes, and put all that on Trump. Didn't work. boomerang. What are the powers of Huber, IG, and NH? That's Horowitz, and this is the guy that is from Utah. And you look at that, and it talks about this. This actually says that it was actually better for him. And here, let me bring that up real quick. Sessions appointing Utah federal prosecutor much better for Trump than second counsel. And it goes through the logic of how the second counsel had to start from scratch, when from day one they have been investigating Clinton Foundation, the Podesta Group, and all this corruption. From day one of the special counsel, I believe. And you can go read this for yourself, but it pretty much makes a really strong case that the second counsel would have to start over. They've already been investing for months, it talks about, at least at least with the IG. And we know they have 24,000 plus sealed indictments, right? So that's why it's truly, I mean, this is too early, but it's truly better that they have Huber from Utah and working with the IG Horowitz right now. So Horowitz was an Obama appointment, and so was Huber was I think they're not Trump appointees, right? So if you go back and look at it, that's going to help the public accept the truth versus thinking it's a partisan witch hunt. So that's the whole part of the plan, is to actually have the nonpartisan people bust the criminals. If you look at this, who has the power? Clearly, it's Trump and the military intelligence and the NSA. Who can know? Are D's using as a midterm tactic to win the House? Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Are D's using as ammo to gain majority to impeach? That's what they're trying. Not going to work. Impeach on what grounds? There is no grounds. What facts exist to impeach? There isn't any. House report, POTUS, no evidence of collusion. Then we saw that. That was yesterday. Big, huge deal. Sarah A. Carter has the best one of three takeaways. You know, that's the fact that Flynn didn't lie, the fact that you basically Clapper leaked to CNN, where he's working right now, CNN, fake news network, right? And then we've a Clinton News Network, whatever you want to call it, crime news network. And then 3 is the bit, what was that? Dianne Feinstein had a very close person on her that was actually pushing and trying to find part of the dossier to be true. And they're still spending like $50 million they raised to go try to find truth in the fake dossier. Crazy. Those are big findings, guys. So that don't ignore this House report. In fact, I think I have it linked here on this next one, where it's right here, House panel. House panel, Russia report finds no evidence of collusion. Trump says probe must end now. So you can see the video here and get a lot more information there. I like the one that Sarah A. Carter is better because it goes through all 3 of those things I was talking about. Now, Mueller report will contradict Brennan Brennan tweet today. That's interesting. So Brennan, you know, we know he's a completely compromised criminal, Muslim convert who hates America and is working to bring America down and protect the Muslim Brotherhood. So we know that about Brennan. It's just a fact. And so whatever he says is a lie anyway. So it'll be interesting to see if Mueller's report actually contradicts the House Intel Committee. I don't think it's going to. I think it might have some stuff in there trying to throw up these 19 Russians that they can't even prosecute anyway. You know, completely worthless stuff. Most of their activity was after the election. Some of it was against Trump. So it's just really silly. Disconnect exists. R's and D's negative for POTUS. Insurance policy, obviously the whole insurance policy was this, to try to bust him for Russian collusion. It was all a setup. It was a sting that bit them, and now they're going to get stung. Comey release of memos to obtain special counsel. We know that's his intent. That's why he's going to be busted for leaking confidential information, property of the government. You can't do that. Even if he thinks it's his own internal memos, that's a bunch of BS. He did something incredibly wrong, especially he was an FBI director on business hours, actually talking to the most important man, the most powerful man in the world. You can't say that's your personal memoirs. That's government property, dude. You're busted. Disconnect exists. See, here we are. Special counsel attack POTUS witch hunt. And again, I think that witch hunt's referring to Hillary Clinton. SC Comey RR state POTUS not under investigation. And so obviously they're not investigating Trump. So who are they investigating? The witch hunt. Clinton Foundation. That's what he said. He said, I'm going to appoint a special counsel to look into the crimes of Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. And he did it in a background way. That's the biggest thing in history. Let's see here. Flynn pleads guilty to non-committed crime. Why would he do that? Well, because he knew where all the bodies were buried. You heard me talk about this on the last video. And basically, because he did that, he was allowed to basically give all this evidence that couldn't normally be put as part of the public record. Now it's part of the public record. I think it's part of all these sealed indictments now. So Flynn has been working with Mueller and Horowitz behind the scenes, pulling all together these 24,605, the last I counted, was on these sealed indictments. Only 3, I think, have been unsealed. One was uranium, one guy back in January. It had 11 counts, I think it was in it. It was damning on that. I can't remember what the actual person was. And then there's those 2 that was for the NXIVM sex cult, including Allison Mack and I think Keith Reiner. Those are very big ones. And so that's a 3 of 26,500. Think about the magnitude of this. That's why everybody's getting impatient. Be patient. Come on. Let's relax. The stage has to be completely set. We haven't woken up enough people yet. It's our jobs, guys. That's why you want to see arrests? Spread these videos, right? Not this one. It's not designed for a brand new person. But in the very top of all my videos, I have the one I did like 2 months ago. It's almost 100,000 views right now. Because it was designed to share with a Democrat, to share with a non-awoke person, somebody that wouldn't be offended by looking at it. If somebody saw this video, they'd be very offended with the way I'm talking about Hillary and Obama right now. I don't do that in that video, so it'll hopefully get people to think about what the red pill and blue pill means and take the red pill. Quit trusting the mainstream media, and it gets them into queue. So anyway, the very first link in all my videos, I believe I have a link to that video. Number 2 is McCabe, and then it's Stroke and Page. 302 modifications. They modified literally witness forms. They modified Flynn's witness form. So that is a big no-no, but I think it was part of the plan here. Let them do that. He can plead guilty to something that he wasn't even, so it looked as if he was guilty when he wasn't. And so Fusion GPS, this is a huge drop, obviously. The Brits Raw Intel Dossier, Five Eyes, right? This is all talking about how, and I think we're going to find out that Britain was heavily involved, maybe even with that assassination attempt we're expecting to find in the Moab, right? And I know that the Brits were heavily involved in a lot of stuff they shouldn't be involved in with the Five Eyes. That wasn't raw, open intelligence. It was behind-the-scene criminal stuff. Because the Five Eyes does not allow you to spy on each other's citizens. That's not the point. But they were doing that. It wasn't out in the open, as we know, as Nunes found out. So they're busted there as well. And we're talking about these Google. I think this is talking about, and this is interesting. I learned this from you guys in my comments. I love it. I love how much you guys are awesome. And I have to go back and read my live comments. It takes me quite a while, as many as there are now. But I'm trying to get through all the comments. I think there was over 2,000 of them in my last video, so it's really hard. But I wanted to let you guys know that it's very appreciated. I love you commenting down below, especially when I mispronounce something. But more importantly, giving me information and insights, your insights. And I guess there's a bunch of articles and stuff that came out on Google, what they call dead drops, where they'd actually, so like a group of people wanting to collude, right? 5 or 10 people or 15, whatever, all have the same password and account. And they go in and, as you know, who anybody that has Google, if you don't send it, it saves it in draft. And so they were just, through draft emails, they could go in and using coded language like Evergreen and the R for Obama, right? And EV for Clinton and other code names were sitting there using this dead Google account, using draft. But guess who has it all? The NSA has it all. So that's going to be a big thing that comes out here soon too. And I think also there was Google accounts being used between Stroke and Page. So I think that's going to be coming out. Here, DNC rigging superdelegates, funding, voter rolls, agreement with Bernie Sanders. Now, how could he talk so bad about Hillary and then all of a sudden just join her? Obviously, all around the rigging and illegal activity, I think is going to be coming out. Election voter fraud, I think we're going to see that. We're talking about that with the Department of Homeland Security. I think that That was supposed to be due this month, but it's going to be hopefully next month here. CIA, the Department, and this is the intelligence guy here, Director of National Intelligence, FBI, DOJ, Secretary of State, President. Right, so I think that may be saying that all these people are aware now that there was election fraud. Who knows? I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about between Bernie Sanders all the way down to the president. He might be talking about Obama, Hillary, as well as Kelly, right? And that basically they were all in and knew about the voter fraud. I don't know. You let me know what you think this is about. See if I see anything real quick here. I want these cats in jail right now, says DJ Arab. I hear you. LL, Mueller made a deal since we know what happened with the DNC. He was there with Bush, Clinton, Obama, and knows all the dirt. Exactly right. I agree with you completely, LL. SS says agreements have been made to get info on deep state. I exactly agree. False Flag says free speech is in America right. Please stop crying. So, yeah, free speech is definitely our right. Okay, now let's end up this first post of 12. This was the longest one by far. More than you can imagine regarding HRC insurance. So if she didn't, basically had all this, I think this is maybe insurance around her winning, such as voter machine fraud, making sure that you had all kinds of different avenues to make sure Trump didn't win. So why cover remainder of illegal acts? So they really wanted her, they needed her to win because of their spying on Trump. They were doing all kinds of illegal activities with Uranium One and the pay for play and everybody's game in the Congress, and they had everybody bribed in Congress under control. So the deep state had won. This thing was over. If Trump didn't come and run, the military was literally going to have a coup attempt like 3 years ago, right? We've heard about that. Dr. Corsi talks a lot about that. He was told that specifically by some military intelligent people. So, and Q is basically QAnon here. It tells us that too, is that Trump was asked to run. So anyway, crazy stuff. So they had tons of illegal acts they had to cover up. They had to get Hillary in. She was the only one that would be able to cover it up and keep the corruption going. And Bernie wouldn't have probably known about that. So it would have been interesting. Confused. So listen. This is interesting. Confused. I think he's talking to the people in the CIA and the deep state that are on the board right now, right? Looking at all these. The special counsel's targeting who? The witch, not Trump. The special counsel on team, on special counsel off team. Is he on your team or my team? Question. Confused. That's awesome. He is just taunting them right now because we know, at least if you believe me, that Miller's on our team. But the deep state's now confused. Questioned reveal answers. Time will tell. And I can tell you what they're going to find out is that the biggest thing in history just busted them. So here we go. Let's go to the next one. A lot to go through. So 287. Cohen raid by FBI, public context regarding payment to Stormy Daniels. I did listen to Dr. Corsi going over these same posts earlier, which I usually don't have time to do because it's too long. It's an hour and a half. And I completely disagree with him on the way he's decoding these. So anyway, you'll get my opinion, and it's a lot of mine. It comes from Vote.co, as you know, and Reddit.com, going to the Great Awakening. Some on the Donald. Those are two subreddits, they call them, the Great Awakening and also the Donald. So he's saying special counsel and FBI raided POTUS attorney to pull Stormy Daniels' payment information. Does that make sense? And then Rod Rosenstein signed off? Question mark. I'm starting to wonder even if Rod Rosenstein's part of this sting operation. What other docs were collected? Question mark. How many places raided? 3 places raided, I believe. I think it was his house, a hotel room, an office, all this stuff. Raid on the President of the United States attorney for payment details regarding a private case regarding Stormy Daniels. So that now the Democrats and the evil deep state, obviously they're going, yeah, do it. But he's saying, think logically. How do you introduce evidence into investigation legally? Right? So who has everything? The NSA has everything. The military intelligence has everything. But how can they legally use it across all these indictments, right? Methods which info collected, obtained. So basically, the special counsel had the right to do this. At least go try to find information. And that allows it, once they have it, it's admissible in a court of law. And otherwise, it might not be. Insert Rudy, first public statement. It shouldn't take more than a week or two to come to a resolution over the probe. And you can see this article basically talks about a vows to wrap up Mueller probe, right? And it says, Rudy to the rescue, ? Giuliani vows. And then that's another article here. I'm going to save time by not going to it, but you can go look at that yourself. Think resignations. Who has the power? President Trump and the NSA and the military has all the power. If POTUS was in a weakened position, about to be impeached or indicted, would they resign? So all these rhinos, all these corrupt politicians are not running for re-election. They would not do that because of the big slush funds they get if POTUS was about to be indicted. That's what it's telling us here. Public forum, world watching, sharing info to bad actors, ? So I get a lot of those comments. Why would you be talking like this if the deep state's going to find out? Why are we? Well, Trump's wanting them to know, I believe, that they have everything. Right? You better start talking and squealing, covering your own hide versus trying to take down Trump. Right? Become part of the team or you're going to be taken down. That's, to me, the purpose. Not confirming special counsel is on team. Right? So I think right there he's saying, I'm not confirming special counsel's on team. You guess. Right? Later he's going to say, let's play chess. Your move. Can you trust Mueller or not? He's not returning your phone calls? Oh. Too bad. Your move. I love this. He's got him. He's got him by the you-know-what. Question everything. Timing important. Planned? Yes, it's been planned. Of course it is. So that was 287. Then he goes to 288. And then he goes, focus on the FBI for now. There's a lot of frustration. There wasn't a big enough MOBAB for people's expectations. That's why Corsi went off the rails. And that's why a lot of Anons started really complaining. You saw my interpretation on Friday. Was I down? I was sky high, right? Because I'm looking at this from a long-term perspective and seeing these huge things happen like North Korea and the text actually being released and the deep state moves going back and forth. Timing's going to be different than what QAnon's actually predicting sometimes. So we got to back off here, guys. So here's why. It says focus on the FBI for now. Jim Rybicki, Chief of Staff and Senior Counselor, fired. James Baker, General Counsel, fired. Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director, fired. James Comey, Director, fired. Bill Priestap, you don't hear much about him. Why? Headed counterintelligence and Strzok's boss. Cooperating witness. This is a first. We knew this. We assumed this. But now he's telling us direct. Yes, that's why. Power removed. Peter Strzok, Deputy Assistant Director of the Counterintelligence. Cooperating witness. Everybody's saying, why are they still working for the FBI? Well, they put them in HR somewhere, right? So that they could cooperate and still have access to everything. Lisa Page, attorney with the FBI's office and general counsel, also the girlfriend in an affair with Peter Strzok. We know that. Cooperating witness, power removed. All three of those guys working to bring down the corruption in the FBI. Conspiracy, think about the above, only the above, get the picture, ? The whole point is he can't go arrest people. We can't do all the arrests with a crooked FBI. He actually, so that's obviously what's going on here, right? So this, let's see, 289 now, 1289. Peace on the Korean Peninsula isn't big news. So everybody's bummed about last week, and you have Kim crossing South Korea's line, DMZ, for the first time ever, the demilitarized zone. Whoa, that's big stuff, guys. And then he actually wrote, did you see the note I showed you last time? He actually wrote in his own handwriting in Korean about this is the beginning of peace. Should we drop a Moab on that? Hashtag Moab. Interesting that he put that on there. Timetable shift. So basically, this may be that the North Korea thing happened a little bit faster than he was thinking, and the precept of the text coming in, right, that hasn't released the assassination attempt from some of the FBI, as well as another foreign actor, which I think is going to be Britain. Again, now he's saying next week. So timetable shift, mellow out. Remember that video I did on relax? RELAX. That's what I'm telling Corsi right now if he's listening. Relax. And also other anons that are wanting some big, huge number of arrests before the stage is set. Okay, so now here's an anon says, Q, normies only watch CNN. They don't even know any of this is happening. We are too smug. And I think that is totally incorrect. CNN hardly has horrible ratings, right? Maybe MSNBC, but there's a lot of normies that are watching Fox, a lot of normies that don't watch news at all, right? So this is way too extreme, and that's why I think Q says, hope not. Might as well go and sit in the CIA. If you're watching CNN, you might as well be sitting in the CIA, the corrupt CIA parts, right? Russia grounding our military planes in Syria. And I found an article about that was kind of interesting. Military aircraft crashing the U.S. We know that we think that that's the deep state taking control of some parts of it. Like even the military aircraft we're talking about. I think even the passenger, the two engines, both Delta, I think it was, and Southwest Airlines, right? So coincidence? Assists need Otis need Red Bull? Question mark. And I think Q kind of made a mistake here. This really offended a lot of people, and that was part of the whole. And I think that might have been something that triggered Corsi. I think also the fact that Corsi said today in the video he was triggered by the fact that Trump decided not to release all the JFK documents. That really pissed off Corsi. Guys, there's so many great things this president's done. This plan is so awesome. We've got to trust the plan and just get the word out. And quit worrying about all the details and freaking out every time, just like Alex Jones did over Syria. It's like, whoa. So what I told Alex, and it's RELAX, and that's what I'm asking the anons as well as the anons are awesome. They have a skill set way beyond me, right? And as well as Dr. Corsi. And Dr. Corsi knows so much more about history, it's not even funny, than I do, right? So I'm not trying to be prideful here. I'm just trying to say, guys, let's trust the plan. Let's get the word out. He's waiting on us to wake more people up, right? So here's a anon that got really mad, probably by that comment, I would guess. And this is an anon saying, you act as if we haven't talked at length about this. We've created threads, research topics, and more about grounded planes, backdoors, and retaliation. I'm really sick of Otis not getting credit for the work we've already done. How many times can I yell into an echo chamber? No single public arrest. Pedophile still public. We've lost our jobs over this, lost friends, still nothing to show. So you can hear the disappointment of not having a Moab. Again, the rest, guys, I don't think are going to be till late summer potentially, right? There's a lot of stages to still be set, a lot of people to wake up. I know if we do it too soon, it's going to cause massive unrest. We got to wake up more people. As an example, the Donald, a lot of Trump fans, there's 603,000. See this right over here? 603,000 on the Donald. On the Great Awakening, there's only 20,000, right? It's not even 10%. It's not even 5% of the people are on the Great Awakening that are on the Donald. So, and then you take all the people that don't like Donald Trump, hardly any of them are on the Awakening. We have a lot of work to do. And so here's Q's response to him. Who makes the arrest? FBI and DOJ? Question mark, obviously. Can you make arrests with a crooked FBI senior team? Of course not, right? So there's no, I mean, the military could have done it, but then we'd have the FBI after the military and Trump. We had to clean out the corruption in the DOJ and FBI before we can make arrests. That's all there is to it. And we have to wake up more people so there's not civil unrest. Can you see previous posts regarding FBI? Not easy for anyone. We are in this together. Much appreciation. These anons are awesome. They're great. So I didn't mean to offend anybody by saying RELAX. I just meant we appreciate you guys, and this is going to happen. Have faith. It's going to happen. But again, we obviously have to clean up the corruption in some of these three-letter agencies. I think we can clean up the FBI and the DOJ. Q saying the CIA is just too messed up. We're going to have to really blow that thing apart, just like JFK said, right? Okay, what you don't know and can't see ongoing that will validate your efforts. So it's going to be coming. That's that 20. We can't open up and see those 23,600 indictments that still haven't been unsealed, right? We can't see those, but look at that effort that's been put into those. Trust the plan. Step back. Remove arrests. What do you see? So if you don't, just quit talking about arrests for a while. What do you see? North Korea peace. CIA out of North Korea. You see massive resignations of both Republicans and Democrats. That they had to do a plea deal of some course. Nobody's going to give up a little cushy job that they can pay all this money with all this corruption going on. But that game's over. So they say, well, I better get out of here, especially if Trump's going to arrest me if I don't play the game. What do you see? Stage is being set. So again, now I know that he's at stage 5 of 5. I think there's multiple things though. I think there's that was to do certain things, and there's other stages to be able to do the mass arrest. Godspeed, Patriot Q. Okay, lot of posts here, so I'm gonna pick it up here. Increase in chatter on Mueller. So now basically the deep state's trying to figure out, oh my goodness, is Mueller part of the white hats? Is he a gray hat? Is he actually controlled opposition working with them? Is he really investigating us? Are you confused? This message to me is completely to the deep state on the board, right? So this answers a lot of questions why people say, why are you giving all this information out? Why is Cueanon giving all this information out? Because the bad guys see this too, right? They do on purpose. It's part of the game of chess here. So he's saying there's increased chatter regarding Mueller. Are you confused? Are you confused? Talking to the deep state who's now going, oh my goodness, Mueller was our best chance and now he's not on our team? Is he really on our team? Let's call him. Attempts to contact have failed. Oh, he's not calling us back anymore. Can you trust? Your move. 11-9-BD-23. I didn't look that up. So you guys, I don't know if that's some type of cool chess move or what that has to do. You guys let me know what you knew. Forgot to research that. 11-9-BD-23. Shall we play a game? Can you trust? You know that we know. We know what we have. You know what we have. Your move. Wow, crazy stuff. We're into April 27th now. And so let's go on. Wow. And then he replies to the other thing. He goes, noted IP ghost Q. So basically saying somebody right there at this moment was in the board that was an IP ghost, likely CIA. That's what I think it is. You guys let me know if it's that you think that's something differently. Here's another Anon post that was cool. Look at this. This is somebody that went to Detroit area, to Michigan area. Look at this. It says, in the middle of the crowd, Q, trusting the plan. Where we go one, we go all. How cool is that? And it says, we are not alone. So now he tells us about his trip. I drove 3 hours with my wife's ex, but that's a whole nother story, I bet. We walked for over a mile, stood outside, wind chill of 36 degrees for 3 hours to support POTUS in Washington, Michigan. There were between 10 to 15,000 patriots standing outside watching POTUS on Jumbotron. They couldn't even all get in. There were shouts, Q Army, who's Q? And release the text. Isn't that cool? See if anybody had any guesses on the code there. I'm late. What did I miss? Hey, Sal Lynch. Nice to see you. Jim's joined. Deborah Stevens joined. Be Truthful's joined. Guacamole Kids joined. Boy, a lot of new people. Thanks, guys. Cool stuff. So I think your efforts are not making So if you think your efforts are not making a difference, my experience tonight says otherwise. How cool. Anon's an artist. Your efforts are more important than you will ever know. So from someone who does not have your skill set, from one patriot to another, thank you for your service. Where we go one, we go all. I just want to do a quick prayer for the Anons and the autists, the people that have done tremendous work doing the decoding. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the Anons and autists and these people that have done so much work and sacrificed jobs and have sacrificed friends to do the great work of the Second American Revolution to help people like me and the people listening understand exactly what's going on. Thank you for Cueanon. Thank you for the white hats here. And the patriots all around the world uniting to take down the corruption. We thank you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Thanks, Anons. You're awesome. We pray for blessings in your life too. Godspeed, Patriots. Stay strong. Stay united. Boom, week ahead. So he didn't do Moab this time because he got in trouble. So, and Corsi's claiming victory, that he's got him off of Moabs and trying to set expectations better. That's what Corsi said his main thing was. And I love Dr. Corsi, so don't get me wrong there. 1295, be careful who you are following. Now here is where I say, is Trump mad at Corsi? I really think that not only did Corsi get mad that Q was talking about Anons a little bit, not bad. He was just saying, you need a Red Bull? I don't think that's real bad. And the Anons got upset, and Corsi got upset, and then went on the tweet storm, and he got pissed off about the JFK files. And now this is the Q coming back directly at Corsi, in my opinion, and also at I think you'll see actual Q plus. I believe Q plus is actually President Trump, which you'll see some posts here in just a second. So Q here says, be careful who you are following. Some are profiting off this movement. Some are building a big following off this movement, only then to retreat and go mainstream. So I think they thought he was going mainstream. His video I saw today showed he backed way off of that, and he was happy with Q, etc. Patriots make sacrifices, some the ultimate sacrifice. I mean, some people have died. Patriots are selfless. Do they ask for monthly payments to remain patriots? Think logically. To some, it's only about the money. Those who would seek personal gain at the expense of others in the movement has an agenda. You decide. This is not a game. The only profit we should be striving for is true freedom. God bless you all, Q. So, good message. I guess I'll be honest with you. I don't blame what Corsi is doing. He's got a book out there. Yes, he self-promotes it, but he's really got a heart, I believe, of just trying to wake people up. And I know probably a lot of people will disagree with me on that, but I believe his heart's right. He does accept super chats, right, where people are giving $2 and $10, but this is this guy's livelihood. And to me he's a huge patriot, a huge Christian. I'm going to stand behind Dr. Corsi. But obviously he pissed off Q, I believe. And I don't think it's wrong to have a Patreon. Like, I know the other Christian Just Informed Talk. He has Patreon, and I think, and people that really can help and want to help, I think that's fine. I don't have anything set up. They've not monetized me at all. But I'll probably do something that will be win-win for you guys and me at some point in time. And I don't think there's anything that wrong with that. But I see what Q's point is. Now here's Q plus. I think this is actually the President of the United States. It could be somebody else, but I think it is. Personally, thank you for the BO, and I think that's the board operators, I would guess. The bakers and Autos Anons who continually dedicate their time and energy to the Great Awakening. You are patriots. The hard part is coming to an end. The next phase will bring justice. That's what everybody just wants, justice. That's what's going on here. We just know that's just not right to have all this criminals being on the loose, right? But we have to do it the right way. So I believe this is President Trump coming back to this, that we need to be selfless, and there's people dying out there, right? And here's another one from the president. He replies back to that same one, and he says, at least I think it's the president, statements today need to be made. Operators have died. And I'm hoping he's not talking about the BOs, the board operators. They approach the field of battle without fear. They lay down their lives for you. They are selfless. They are fighting for our freedom. They fight unconditionally because they hold a core value, a value that we should all live in freedom. We honor them. We must do better to protect them. Where we go one, we go all. Q plus, patriots. Wow, guys, that is cool stuff, man. Having this communication to us. That's all these. I got a bunch of news to go through. I'm probably not going to be able to have time to go for a prophecy because I got to get on a plane. But we'll say a prayer and wrap it up after I go through some news here. But wow. So this is where I was saying I really believe that Trump and Q are mad at Corsi. And I think that, Corsi is making some money on the book, obviously, and he is taking money on Patreon, but I think he's also trying to give out free books. He's giving free free signatures and book plates. So I think the man's a mighty man of God in helping this movement. I hope that this rift between Q and Corsi and Trump and Corsi kind of smooths out as we go and become unified again here. So we'll see how that all shakes out. This is the DNI. It was probably this Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coates. I haven't heard much about him, but he mentioned that in one of his tweets. Here's one that actually talks about Rudy to the rescue that I was talking about earlier. Julie vows to wrap up the Mueller probe. So let me go to this just a bunch of news on these other two tabs. There's a ton of them here. Here's, I think, a lot of this stuff was Donald. I think I might go to the other one first. Now, this is kind of interesting. We talked about Russian taking down our planes in Syria. Here's an article that was the 25th talking about Russian military captures drones on the base in Syria. This is right above the post that Q was talking about our military aircraft being crashed, right? And so then he talked about this as well. And it basically said the U.S. military intelligence plane was allegedly flying over the Mediterranean when the attack took place. So Russia's actually taking down these planes. My guess is that these drones are part of the deep state that's still active in Syria. That's what my belief is. And that's why they're taking these down. I don't know. I may be wrong about that, but that's just my guess. Here's some more. This is talking about the Q post here where they showed this awesome Q trusting the plan in Washington, Michigan, during the rally last night, during the correspondence dinner. He actually did a rally, obviously. That was awesome. That Q was being talked about and on display at the rally. Not quite on topic. Let's see, I'm going to skip that. Here's this. Trump did say boom in his speech last night. I didn't catch that. I remember saying something about boom, boom, bing, but I didn't realize it was boom. I thought it was, but boom, boom, bing. And so, anyway, I do remember him saying that. I can't exactly remember what part that was, but I think he did say boom, boom, bing in the speech. So, all right. Sultry Feather says, Project Veritas have videos coming out on some politicians. Good. Can't wait till we get some of that new information. Here's some more news real quick. This is from that vote.com. It was interesting talking about the boom on the way. And I'll post this. There's a lot of analysis here that came into all this. I thought it might be kind of interesting for you guys to see. A lot of detail about Michael Pence potentially and Ryan, some leaks of emails that I'm not sure if these have been corroborated yet, that Pence and Ryan were saying Plan B because Trump's going to win. It was in the October emails. Some interesting things there. Whether that's true or not, whether Pence was really kind of a never Trumper or not is still in question. Here's this one that we just read about be careful who you are following. Persons, thank you. And there's a lot of, this is the Great Awakening on Reddit. A lot of people talking horrible about Corsi. So Corsi lost me when he said Kissinger was a good guy. Corsi is a tool, right? Every time I suggest Corsi is anything but a god, I'm attacked. So there's a lot of people that are on the Corsi train and off the Corsi train. I kind of look at this as a biblical Christian. Remember when everybody was saying, I'm with Paul, they're talking about I'm with this apostle, when it's really supposed to be about Jesus Christ, right? That's the way I look at this. It's not whether you're for Corsi or not for Corsi, or for Q or not for Q. It's are you a patriot? As part of the Great Awakening is the bigger cause here, and ultimately it's God's plan to clean up this mess. But there's tons of, you'll see the links if you want to go read about a lot of people slamming Corsi. That would be there. There's some more here where it's talking real directly to Corsi and how they're not real happy with Corsi attacking Cueanon and attacking Trump, right? But again, I'm a fan of, I'm on the Corsi train, but do believe that he miscodes stuff quite a bit. But he's got brilliant history that I just learned so much more. In fact, I have his book right here. I've read it. You guys, I would still suggest buying this. I think it's an awesome book. If you've really dug into detail like I have in Q, you're not going to learn that much new, but you're going to have a lot of historical context that I didn't have around all these things. There was no new revelations in here for me, specifically on new stuff, but I got a great background on things I didn't have before. So that's Killing the Deep State by Corsi. He finally got it on the New York Best Time Seller, so actually in bookstores. So good for him. So anyway, that's the Corsi drama that happened this week. Operators have died, and this is just one of these that's talking about how the person that died, I think in the accident over the Rothschilds, the helicopter pilot. But this is talking about the people who have died. I just love this. He had a Bible verse in here that said, "Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." That's what we as patriots are doing. That's John 15:13. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Thank you for treating me as a friend and loving me, even though you don't know me. So here's all these great anons, these 20,000 people coming together on the Great Awakening. I suggest you go to reddit.com, get an account, and then subscribe to the Great Awakening. Great information coming out there. In fact, I'm not going to be able to do one of these tomorrow. I'm flying all the way to the Northeast tonight, and then tomorrow flying again. So I won't be able to do it until Tuesday. So I won't be able to see you guys till Tuesday. Here's a couple other things. Look at this. It says, you know it's happening when you see this in Chicago. Look at this in Chicago. Spying in Congress. Cute. Pretty cool, huh? Here's a tweet from Trump. Great evening last night in Washington, Michigan. The enthusiasm, knowledge, and love of that room was unreal. To the many thousands of people who couldn't get in. I cherish you, and we'll be back. So all those people outside holding up those signs, those doing Q chants, good stuff. Here's a former assistant FBI director that basically said, I have no doubt Clapper and Brennan conspired with Comey against Trump. Thought that was real interesting. No doubt that the FBI director Comey conspired with former director of national intelligence and former CIA director John Brennan. Both conspired with Comey to take down Trump. We know this. We know this has all happened, right? Okay, last browser real quick. Go over some of the Donald stuff. I think most of this stuff is. And this is just a cool video. The thing about Trump, make America great again, and all the different badges and things, because this guy's been to every one of the, I guess, a bunch of his different events. And then this is the famous book that I tried to read this. It was way long, and The Art of the Sale, I guess it is, or The Art of the Deal. Sorry, The Art of the Deal. If you look at this here, this is kind of cool. This was spotted in a gun show in Pennsylvania. And here's JFK saying, I would be a Republican today, ditch and switch. And I think, again, I don't like to make this right versus left. This is more like get out of the corruption, join the Patriots. And the Patriots right now are here, right? Trust the plan. Here's another couple of quick things. While Washington, Michigan was a big success, Washington, D.C. just didn't work. Everyone is talking about the fact that the White House Correspondents' Dinner was a very big, boring bust. The so-called comedian really bombed. Greg Gutfeld shall host next year at Beecher Heseth. So that was interesting. So I don't know if you guys see if it's still here on Drudge Report. It actually showed some of the words and phrases she used. Yeah, there it is. You can probably read that. Probably too small for you. But it basically talked about, oops, it scrolled down. You can probably read this better. But do you see that? That's on Drudge Report. Smut, stand up, shocking DC. My bad word, Jake Tapper's orgasm, Nazi, abortion jokes, gay jokes. I've been effed. So obviously, Greg Gutfeld would be a big improvement over her, right? This comedian that talked there. Here we go. Look at this. Is talking about illegals climbing the fence at the border. That's all happening right now on the TV. You probably have seen some of that. Big showdown. I really believe the deep state had all the media and everybody on all these Guatemalans and other people from different countries trying to do the big march across Mexico to come into the United States. Trying to make Donald look bad, I think, but it's going to backfire on him. And last night during the speech, you probably heard him talking about North Korea, and he basically said he had everything to do with the North Korea coming to the table, and people started chanting "No bell, no bell, no bell." Those of you a lot of people, you probably saw that. And here, remember, there's things that went on like the Fast and Furious illegal stuff that nobody went to jail over this, but this guy died. Brian Terry died in 2010, lost his life to the Mexican drug cartel with guns sold to them by the Obama administration. So Q's really letting us know the southern border is hugely a problem because that's being used by the deep state and working with the cartels, working with Saudi Arabia, etc., to do the drug running and the gun running and the human trafficking, right? It's not just about illegals coming in. Here's the last thing. This is a picture of some guy who's just excited. He's from Canada, and he came into Canada to see Trump's speech. So this is not just America. I want everybody to understand that. There's patriots across all the nation really wanting our help, and so when we understand when God heals this nation, that we have our responsibility to go help other nations as well. Great stuff, guys. Let me pull you in here, and then we'll say a prayer real quick and wrap it up so I can get on the road back to take an airline for a big client in the meetings tomorrow. Here we go. Troy Alexander's there. Soul Frederick, Be Truthful, Moki, Angel Soul. The bunch of people chatting here. Moki 7. Mr. Andy 101, a lot of conversation going. Fast and Furious needs to be dealt with. I agree. Mr. Andy, one who is able to focus on one thing. Be truthful. Yeah, it was bad. Blessed teach, if Q is warning us about who we follow, why would you dismiss this warning and still support Corsi? Mainly because I believe Corsi has a great heart. And I do believe that both Trump and Cueanon got irritated with Corsi, but I don't think he's getting rich off this as much as he is doing. I think he's putting his life into waking up people. So again, you make your choice on that. I'm not judging you if you don't like Corsi. I do believe that he's totally missed the whole Mueller thing. But a lot of you guys that listen to me don't agree with me on Mueller, and that's fine. That's okay that we disagree. That's what he's wanting us to use our own mind. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're supposed to be doing. That's why it's questions, and that's why he's confusing the deep state. So I think it's awesome stuff, right? Let me say a quick prayer and wrap this up. But Lord, I know that there's a bit of a spat within this patriot community, Lord, and I just pray that you bring unity around it. I pray that you'll just use Dr. Corsi in a mighty way, use Trump in a mighty way for your kingdom. Lord, heal this land. I pray that you'll use each of us that is on this board right now live and those listen to me on the recording, that you'll just bless their lives and you'll communicate how you want them to be involved in this movement, Lord. This can't be just all listening. We all need to do different things. Maybe it's just as easy as getting on Twitter and putting in release the text and unredacted, and maybe it's literally changing careers to become part of the military or become part of the governments at the local, state, as well as federal levels. Maybe it's becoming a judge. Maybe it's becoming some other type of activity in missions. Who knows? But pray, Lord, you just bring the army of God together. That's just more specialized in this body of Christ, this army together. You let us know how you want to use each of us for this movement. And we thank you for this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, let me get back to you guys, and we'll wrap it up here before I get on the road. See if I can find this. There you guys are. Later, Ken, be safe. I guess Ken took off. Yes, I'm very safe. May God be with you on your flight. Thank you. I appreciate that. And see you home safely. I'll probably be next broadcasting or live streaming on Tuesday night. So be excited to see what happens between now and then. Amen. Thanks, April. I do trust sessions. If you do not, you are irrational, impatient, and asleep. Will Bad, nice to see you. On constitutional rights, praying, good, amen. Travel mercies, I do appreciate it, everybody. Hey, and let's really wake up the rest of the community. There's two things I'd like you to take action on. Go to your Twitter. If you don't have one, create an account and actually just tweet something and put in there like hashtag release the text, hashtag unredacted. And then send me memes or just send me that. And then in the tweet, you have to put at blessed to teach. And the link's in the bottom of this video, at blessed to teach. So let's keep that going on. A lot of people have joined me in this, sending me memes or just sending me that so that we can really get people awake, more awake. I think that's one of our things. Another thing is I think I think it's just all about ready to pass 100,000 views. Is my video about 2 months ago that's designed to share with people. That's not very offensive. That'll introduce people to the Mockingbird media, introduce people about there's a war going on, and to take the red pill, and then lastly introduce them to QAnon. And so it's usually the first link in all my videos. So share that one. I think that's the one to share with your friends that you may be too scared to talk to, or you want to send something that's less offending, and talks about us coming together. God bless you guys. I hope you will. Yeah, I don't have any Mark Taylor right now. Just don't have time. I just so much to go on. It's 3:52, and I have to catch a flight here in a little over an hour and a half. God bless you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.